So at the age of 20, Luka Doncic will be the sixth youngest All-Star starter ever.
And it was like, yeah, like you're an All-Star. And I'm like, wow, me?
Feel kind of accomplished. I mean, rookie of the year your first year, and now you're an NBA All-Star just in your second season. Do you feel accomplished? I mean, all before you're 21 years old.
I mean, I was trying to make the playoffs, like I said, championship, more team stuff. So, you know, still got a lot of work to do.
Over the last 76 years, the NBA has seen a wide variety of draft classes that have featured an even wider variety of talents. We have the more notable classes like the 1984 NBA Draft, the 1996 NBA Draft, and the 2003 NBA Draft, which were stacked with Hall of Fame talents and just great NBA players. Then we have your more forgettable draft classes. A class like the 2000 draft class stands out to me, seeing as it only featured 3 All-Stars and 0 repeat All-Stars. But what about a class like 2017, 2018? How about 2020? Do these draft classes stack up with the others? Well, it's hard to tell. You see, at the other end of this argument, it has history on its side. It's been multiple years since these legendary draft classes I mentioned prior, and at most, it's only been 5 years since the 2017 draft. It's hard to judge talent when certain players' careers haven't taken off yet. A good example of this, if you watched my video talking about underrated players, you know how high I am on Lonzo Ball. He was selected second in the 2017 NBA draft, and many people that don't understand basketball would probably just label him as a bust right now, but he's still so young. There's an overall narrative and fear, I believe, with most NBA fans, wondering if the talent we're seeing come into the league today is stacking up with these other legendary draft classes. You know, are we going to see the same rivalries and competitiveness that we did at the peak of the 2010 seasons and the 2000 seasons and the 90s seasons? And honestly, I think the answer is yes. While we may not have the power to look into the future and see if the NBA really is in good hands, we definitely have the power to look at and see what these young guys have shown us so far. Today, we'll be looking at 3 NBA players that I picked out specifically and how they present themselves on and off the court and why I'm so excited to see the future of the league with them. We'll start with the on the court stuff, and then in the second half of the video, we'll talk about the off the court stuff. It's no secret that every day more and more you're seeing someone younger, maybe on Instagram or TikTok, doing some insane dunk or having some crazy highlight in a middle school game. It's just the way the world works. Humans evolve and pick up on stuff faster and more frequently. This doesn't instantly make those people NBA prospects, but it does draw the question, why did this start happening? Well, the simple answer, like I said, is evolution. Eventually, humans realize they are capable of doing a lot more than what we're told. And secondly, we see young guys like Zion Williamson or Ja Morant jumping out of the gym and dunking all over someone and sit and say to ourselves, if only I could do that. There's a clear inspiration in the way a new generation of viewers wants to play and be like the players we're going to be talking about in this video today. 20 years ago, everyone wanted to dress like Iverson, be like Mike, shoot like Bird, or pass like Magic. Nowadays, people want to play like Luka, Zion, and LaMelo, and that's a good thing. There's tons of young players to choose from, but the 3 guys that we're talking about today all have their own unique play style, and they do great things off the court, so it will help when talking about the differences between these players, but how they collectively all do good. We'll start with Luka Doncic. Luka plays the game patiently and slowly. He's definitely not your typical 5-star prospect or recruit. Yes, he was backed by his showing in Europe and being the youngest player to ever win the EuroLeague MVP. However, on a scouting scale, he just isn't exactly what you would call a standout athlete. He's a little heavier set, but he uses it to his advantage. His IQ and patience grants him so much success when he's going to work down low. I mentioned he is a little slower, but he has such a great understanding of his change of pace and change of speed. When he has someone out on the perimeter, it's like they're out on an island. This type of play can motivate anyone to try to work hard and put the hours in. Other than height, Luka is no different than a quote-unquote normal person. His success is warranted strictly from skill and IQ, which was obtained through what I can only assume was countless hours of training and practice. Another great European example of this, someone who's actually dominating the league right now that we won't be talking about in today's video, is Nikola Jokic. Now, compared to those two, LaMelo and Zion definitely have a little bit different, flashier styles of play. LaMelo, he is a flashy highlight reel, but a very smart and skilled one at that. I think people tend to or don't like to give credit to LaMelo's IQ due to the fact that he's a goofy and free-spirited person off the court, but I digress. No one can say he isn't talented or gifted at the least. He possesses the same crafty ability of passing and creating that his brother Lonzo does, but he's way more elusive when it comes to finishing and creating for himself. He's a confident shooter and leader all around, and the Hornets should be trying their hardest to keep him around, but honestly, I don't think they'll have a problem. He said nothing but good things about the organization and his teammates. As for Zion, he just possesses that one-of-one X-Factor talent. I mean, I can't even imagine having to guard someone like that. He jumps out of the gym, he's fast and physical all over the court, and on defense, he's an absolute workhorse. I mean, we're talking about a wrecking ball. You can put a floater up, a layup up, a mid-range, and you have to fear that this man is over your corner. But is the skill and talent that these players possess the real reason I'm making this video? Well, yes, but also no. You see, over the last 3 to 4 years, I've grown to notice and enjoy the fact that across the various leagues and sports, younger athletes are becoming wiser with their money and smarter with their money, and they're also giving back to their communities more. We'll start with the man who prompted this entire video, which is LaMelo Ball. LaMelo gets a pretty bad rap, I'd say, for the way he used to act, but people don't realize that in any clip you may dub immature or childish, this dude literally was a child. I mean, he was 15 to 16 years old with millions and millions of eyes watching and critiquing every single little movement he did. Yet, I haven't heard anyone rushing to the comments to talk about what you're seeing popping up on the screen right now. LaMelo has also hosted and or participated in his fair shares of kids camp since starting his pro career, even dating back to a short stint in Lithuania. It was featured a lot on Ball in the Family, which, if you don't know, is the Ball family's TV show that LaMelo takes pride in giving back to the youth and making sure he never forgets his roots. And the same goes for Zion. When Zion was asked, why was it important to make sure that you're having an impact right now, both at home in South Carolina and in New Orleans in your new community? He answered, I felt like it was an important part because anybody that knows my story, they know that I worked out in McLeod Park in Florence, South Carolina, an outdoor court. When I partnered with Mountain Dew, they looked at my story and they got to learn about me. And so they came up with this great idea that not only am I going to give back to my community in Spartanburg, South Carolina, but also my new home in Louisiana. When I saw what they did with the courts, I was just blown away. How can you not root for a guy like Zion? Nothing but positive energy and respect radiates from that guy. I've seen countless fan interactions with Zion when he just makes their day or gives them their shoes or just takes the time to engage with them like humans should. He doesn't have to do this. He's just being himself. He sees himself as a human, not this big celebrity. You know, one interaction that really sticks out in my mind was an interview he did with a younger reporter. I'm sure it was a fan as well, but the fan or reporter was clearly a little bit nervous to talk to Zion, but Zion didn't care at all. He was just eager to hear the questions, and he was treating him like such a normal person. Just based on the mannerisms, you can see he's excited to be there. You know, he's fresh off his game, and he's willing to wait to go into the locker room and do this interview first. That just speaks volumes about his character alone. Last but not least, I want to talk about Luka Doncic and his movement off the court. I think Luka knows that he almost has this duty or chip on his shoulder, if you will, to promote kindness and success wherever he goes. I think there's definitely an added element with not being from America, and this isn't a shot at Slovenia. It's just anyone who's a European and playing basketball here in America. They have a lot to do. You know, they have a lot to prove for their communities back home, and I think Luka does a wonderful, wonderful job representing his community. The Mavs announced that Doncic had been named a finalist for the 2021-2022 NBA Community Assist Award, which is an award that is given away, obviously, to people that are helping their communities and giving back the most. And he got there by finally receiving some recognition for assisting his communities in not only Dallas, but also Slovenia as well. He made multiple visits to Make-A-Wish children, giving holiday presents and packages to over 200 children at a children's hospital. And he also refurbished and built 2 basketball courts in his hometown. He made numerous donations and other surprise gifts as well. I mean, the list goes on forever. I could sit and talk about the testaments to Luka's character all day long, but I won't. I know this video wasn't your typical type of video, but I think it's important to notice the good energy every once in a while. If you're rooting for these NBA players next season, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please leave it a like and subscribe if you're new. If you don't want to miss any notifications or content, hit that button next to my name. You'll get a notification every time I post. You can also follow me on Twitter, which is in the description below, where I will be posting when I post, and I'm always answering DMs on there. Thank you guys so much for the support recently. It's been amazing. If you guys have any NBA comments, you know where to leave them down in the comments below, and peace.